Want to hear about our Texas bidet of the week?
Who's our Texas Badass of the Week?
Our Texas Badass of the Week is none other than Jesse Lincoln Driscoll.
Jesse Lincoln Driscoll.
Born 1824, died 1890. Jesse Lincoln Driscoll was a cattleman and builder of the Driskill Hotel in Austin, Texas. He was born November 4th, 1824 in White County, Tennessee, and had a big Irish descendants. But in 1857, he entered the cattle business. And for 3 years during the Civil War, he furnished beef to the Confederate Army and the Texas Rangers. You know, had an interest in
selling beef.
One side of those two sides. And Driscoll was paid for his efforts in Confederate dollars. And by the end of the war, with no cattle and no money.
In Bitcoin.
Right? Yeah. That I guess Confederate dollars were the 1860s Bitcoin. It was like, well,
Do you think they had like Confederate bros who
they definitely did
post up at the bars?
Yeah, they were great.
You gotta get
you gotta get Confederate.
You don't understand.
You need rebel dollars.
Currency.
Rebel dollars. Yeah, freaking yeah. They probably had a dartboard with Frederick Douglass' face on it, just like throwing at it. Like, dude, you've got to. I don't support that. I'm just saying what it probably was. What it probably was.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that he was only paid in Confederate dollars. By the end of the war, he had no cattle and no money. So he had gone broke. He began to rebuild his herds. In the early days of the Chisholm Trail, Driskill could be found driving cattle to northern markets with his brother-in-law, William H. Day. Driskill was said to have been an adventurous drover and fearless ranchman, and through persistence, he became successful once again in the early southwestern cattle trade. Business fell off sharply after 1871 when permanent residents of Abilene and Kansas, the destination of many trail drives, became fed up with the cattle trade and the wranglers because, that the trade sort of came with debaucherous wranglers, lone cattlemen, and then also bandits. So violence sort of
the same people
followed this trade. So once all that fell off, in that year, Driskill moved him and his wife and 4 daughters and 2 sons to Austin, the westernmost metropolis in the state at the time, which is crazy to think. He also continued on in the cattle trade, establishing ranches in South Texas, Kansas, and the Dakota territories. In 1885, he purchased the site for his future hotel, an entire city block for $7,500. The Driskill Hotel opened on December 20th, 1886. For many years, it served as a social and political center in Texas society. The Driskill family lost their fortune in 1888 when a late spring froze on the northern plains and killed 3,000 cattle. What it's not saying here is he also gambled away the deed to the Driskill Hotel in a poker game. Just not mentioning that on this website. But I checked. Weird. That's what happened. Payments on the hotel could not be met due to his gambling issues, and Driskill was forced to sell to S.E. McIlhenny. Driskill died, some said, meaning most said, a broken man on May 3rd, 1890 of a stroke.
Wow.
Yeah. So that sounds like a wild life, right?
Yeah.
But then I think that was probably most people's life on a scale.
Okay.
Yeah, of course he made a lot of money and lost a lot of money, but I feel like in the 1800s, that was sort of the normal, like, you make money, you lose money, you drink, you die. That was sort of
back and forth a little
the life.
Because we hear about all these people that did these things.
Yeah.
And it seems, from our perspective, or at least mine, easier to get into these businesses.
Yeah.
It seemed a lot easier to just like...
There was definitely less paperwork.
There was less paperwork.
Yeah.
Obviously, you needed some startup cash. But I remember reading Benjamin Franklin's biography, and pretty much every single chapter, whenever he gets to a new place, starts with the sentence, "I went to the bank to get a line of credit."
Yeah.
Basically, every time Franklin went somewhere, he was like, yo, cash me up.
Let's get a business going. Well, even in like,
dollar bill.
It's not a real story, but in Tombstone, they go to a new town and the whole goal is let's start a business. And within a day, they have
a bar. Like
setting up Texish LLC took 2 weeks.
Yeah. And that's an easy process.
And that was easy.
Less.
Shouts out LegalZoom, sponsor. But like, it was so easy to just be like, I'm going to buy cattle and now I'm a businessman.
And now I have cows and I'm going to hire you. And
I guess what we're not saying here is if you were a woman, you couldn't read, write, or have a business. So maybe
definitely
things
not. So
have changed for the better.
Maybe for some people it was harder.
Yeah, for everyone except Candace Owens' favorite people, white men.
Oh man,
yeah.
I guess that would have been out for a little bit.
Would have been out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I wonder if we've gotten any feedback.
Probably Probably not good.
Probably not great. So, Driskill Hotel, visit it whenever you're in Austin, Texas. It's still a beautiful
Two
hotel.
haunted rooms.
Two of them.
Two haunted rooms. And the stairwell's haunted.
And the stairwell's
Because
haunted.
Driscoll's daughter broke her neck. I'll just tell that story real quick.
Let's go.
Part of what sent Driskill down in a spiral, other than him already being somewhat prone to risk and reward, as you can tell, there was a night when one of his daughters, or it was Sam Houston's daughter. It was Sam Houston's daughter was staying at the Driskill Hotel because, as we just highlighted, it was the center for social, political socialites. Sam Houston's daughter went outside of her room, like in the middle of the night, to play with a bouncy ball. The bouncy ball.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the image.
Yeah.
Like, can't sleep, bouncing the ball. Yeah. The ball starts bouncing down the stairs.
Goes after the ball.
And then Sam Houston's daughter also bounced down the stairs.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever seen anyone fall downstairs before, but bouncy balls have an easier time. And his daughter died on the stairwell because she broke her neck. Oh. So there's a picture of her on the stairwell. And it's said to this day that if you go to the Driskill Hotel and you're going up and down the stairs quietly, you can hear like a bouncy ball and a girl laughing.
Oh, wow.
And if you stare at her picture that's on the wall for long enough, it'll like smile at you.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I believe in demons, so I kind of have to believe in ghosts, I guess.
Fair enough.
I don't worship demons. I believe demons exist. Not like,
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like we have a field trip we have to.
Texish goes.
Texish goes.
All right. Hey, just go hotel. If you want to let us come highlight how scary your hotel is, let us do it.